Hello everyone, it is the 16th of August 2023. I'm Victoria from Stretch Body Mind, and this is the Breathe With Me session for the August new moon. So I've been doing these sessions now a couple of times. I'm wanting to do them with the new moon and the full moon. There's very different energy with the new moon and the full moon. The new moon energy is all about having a new slate, if you like, wiping the slate clean and starting again. And, what are you planning for the next lunar cycle? When we get to the full moon, it's a time of harvest. It's a time of acknowledgement of, have we manifested what we wanted? And if not, why not? And how can we course correct? But in this time of the year, or this time of the lunar cycle, it's all about, right, what do I want for the next little bit? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this new moon. It is a new moon in Leo, because we are in the Leo sign at the moment. And Leo is a fire sign. It's all about sort of creativity. To me, the Leo is the life and soul of the party. I'm not a Leo. It's actually the opposite sign of me in the zodiac. But I find I have a lot of close friends who are Leos, who have that Leo energy, that, as I say, that sort of, let's get the party started, I'm here, and happy days. So, so that's a little bit about sort of Leo. But this is a really special time. It always is. There's always something happening that we need to sort of celebrate, or that's always a little bit different about each moon, whatever phase it's in. So this Leo new moon also has a thing happening where Venus is in retrograde. So Venus is the planet of the heart and of love. We know about Venus. And so it's really interesting because Leo, actually, there's a lot about the heart in Leo. And so I've got, of course, some notes that I'm going to read to you. It says here, new moons in name and in meaning are slate clearing, field clearing, restarts. You're getting a fresh lunar cycle and a new start for the next 29 point whatever days. The new moon always aligns with the zodiac. So if the sun sign is in Leo, that means the new moon is going to be in Leo as well. And so it's saying here that, of course, Leos, it's all about the mane, the majesty, being extra, having the karaoke machine switched on. These are all signs of Leo. And Leo is ruled by the sun. Not that we've seen much of it, but let's keep our fingers crossed. But it's all about pleasure, play, the inner child, the heart, expression of your heart's desire, creativity, and really, like allowing yourself to be playful, okay, and allowing yourself to let go of what was, and then calling in something else, something new. So it says that because the moon is not visible at this time of the lunar cycle, it stands as a metaphor for the shadow parts of ourselves. These are the parts of ourselves that we try to keep hidden, that we ourselves actually don't always recognize. And so there can be some of the sort of negative aspects of Leo coming up at this time, and it's fine to acknowledge these parts and to recognize in yourself and maybe ask the questions, where have I been restricting my creativity? Where have I been rigidly controlling my inner child? Where have I been not expressing myself freely? So on that note, I did say that there was going to be a bit of an announcement with this breathwork session. So for the last, really not just the last lunar cycle, but for the last wee while, I have really been struggling with expressing myself, in particular on social media. And what I've been finding, I think most of you who know me know that I am the mum of a toddler, and so life is just gone chaotic. I don't get the same structures that I had before. I don't get the same time that I had before. And what I find is that, you know, I'm in between trying to stop him from killing himself, I am grabbing my phone, and instead of getting the phone and maybe posting a little bit about things that are coming up, we've got the breathwork facilitator training happening this autumn. We've got a meditation teacher training happening in person in Northern Ireland. We've got another yoga teacher training coming up. And we've got Stretch and Play, which is my movement and mindfulness for kids training. That's going to be in person in Glasgow. Have I mentioned these to anybody? No, because what I am doing is I'm grabbing my phone, I'm going onto Instagram, and I'm what I call doom scrolling. I am looking at everybody else and then inevitably comparing myself negatively to everyone else. And, oh, you know, they can do this because they've got so much more time than me. Just making up the most ridiculous stories about, you know, that they're visible and I'm not visible. And actually what I've realized is it's time to take Instagram off my phone. And that is massive, because it has become a habit that is quite a negative one for me. And as I say, I've not been expressing myself on it. I've been watching other people. I've been doing a few stories. I don't know if you saw, there was one today which really made me laugh. It was actually a breathwork. It was a comedian giving a breathwork opportunity. And I'll just share this with you if you haven't seen my Instagram, or you're better than me and don't scroll constantly. The comedian was like, I learned this breathwork during the pandemic. You take a deep breath in for 3, you hold the breath in for 1, and then as you breathe out, you go, for fuck's sake. So hopefully that will not be beeped out, but it was just so funny. It made me laugh. It cheered me up. And that's the sort of content I would like to be consuming and I would like to be sharing. But I think as a little challenge to myself for this lunar cycle, Instagram is coming off my phone. And I will not be posting, and more importantly, I will not be scrolling. So if you do want to get in contact with me, please don't DM me on Instagram. Please email training@stretchbodymind.com. I will still be sending out my emails. At the moment, I have a Facebook group. I will still be going in and chatting in that group. And I've been sort of looking at it, LinkedIn, but I haven't really done much with it. And I'm just going to say it's an experiment. It's a new moon, it's a new time, and it is a time to release the addiction to Insta. Facebook, I haven't been on as much. I think we're all a bit like that. The other thing that is part of this announcement is that actually, because I'm no longer going to be on Instagram for the next 29 days, there will be another website or another Instagram profile that I highly recommend you look at. And I will, before I log out, I'll be sending emails to everyone on my Insta list to ask them to follow. But it is called Stretch_and_play, and it is the Stretch and Play Instagram for our children's facilitator training. And thankfully I'm not doing it. So I'm really encouraging people to get on, to have a look at it, to follow us, and have a little think about that. But for that next lunar cycle, I am going to let go of this. Now, this is no judgment, no criticism, and no comment on your Instagram habits. This is entirely about me. If you want to do the experiment with me, you're welcome to. It really is probably not the best time to have come off social media when I do have courses that I want to promote, but I feel like I can promote them in other ways. And as I say, I just need to give myself better habit. So yeah, so that's my big announcement. So yeah, the Stretch Body Mind Instagram page will not have any posts on it from today for a little while. And any posts that there will probably be reposts from Stretch and Play or something else. So yeah, so there we go. So that's my big announcement. I also wanted to say a little bit more about this new moon. And this actually doesn't come from Western astrology. It's more from the sort of Eastern astrology. And actually what it said, which I thought was really interesting, is that it doesn't talk about Leo or anything like that. It talks about Shastra, which is the sacred serpent. And what this post had said is the sacred serpent calls us once again with this new moon in the constellation of this coiled serpent. Not only does this rule the feminine, the divine, and the home, but it rules the heart and the emotions. It's also a sun sign. As I said, Leo is also a sun sign. But the sun, of course, is masculine. It's about outer life. It's about action. It's also about money. And then, of course, we've got this Venus thing going on, which is all about the arts, relationships, friendships, sexuality and pleasure, and enlightenment. So all of these are in the sphere of the serpent. So if you are feeling the vibes right now, it's no wonder. There's a lot of stuff going on, okay? If you are not experiencing themes of karma, rebirth, and intensity in some form in your life, actually, I don't think there's anyone who isn't. All right, so we are having those sensations right now, and so we are going to do some breathing that will hopefully support us to get out of our heads, out of our bad habits, and into our hearts a little bit more, and into our creativity and our inner joy, okay, inner fire, inner energy, okay. And what might this breath be, do you think? That's right, it's the breath of fire. So the breath of fire is a noisy breath. We are going to start it through our mouth, and then we are going to try and close the mouth and do it through our nose. If you are suffering from hay fever at the moment, then by all means keep the mouth open. But this breath is, as the name suggests, it's a really fiery breath. It's actually stimulating the diaphragm rather than it being, I mean, it's a deeply diaphragmatic breath. It's not really chest breathing. It's almost like stomach breathing. As you inhale, I don't want to see shoulders lifting and dropping. I want the shoulders to stay relaxed, and I want the navel to pull in and out, in and out. Now, my shoulders lift, but only because the action of my navel. Okay, so we're thinking about the solar plexus, the third chakra, the center of our power. This is intimately connected with Leo, and so this breath of fire will just stoke up that internal fire. One of my suggestions for after you do the breath work with me is that you go and maybe journal, maybe make some plans, have a little bit of sort of strategizing, or think about what it is that you want to release and what you want to call in its place. So as I said, I'm releasing my addiction to Instagram, and instead I'm calling in a new way to communicate with you all. So thank you for being with me, and we are going to do some breathing now. We're going to do it for 10 minutes. If you're watching the recording of this, you, by all means, you might want to put music on in the background. I'm not going to put music on because sometimes the recording thing doesn't really like it. But if you are going to do a music, my choice, my recommendation would be something that is quite like drumming, or like sort of shamanic, or even the didgeridoo. Okay, so that sort of sound, it resonates very deeply in the body, and it will help to keep the rhythm of this breath of fire. But as I said, I wanted us to do it for the first minute with our mouth open, and then we will close the mouth. those who've been with me before know that my microphone does not actually pick up the noise of the breath. So I have to almost exaggerate it. And you're going to love the exaggeration that we do here for this breath of fire, because with the mouth open and thinking about your inner child, what I actually want you to do is let your tongue, your jaw relax, your tongue come out a little bit. And I want you to imagine that you're a dog, you've been running about on the beach, you are full of energy and excitement, and you're going to pant. You see that sort of rhythm, that sort of pumping? That's, you know, the dog panting. By the way, if you haven't got your water, maybe go and grab it. The mouth does dry up initially, but as you continue, the saliva will come, I promise you. But after the minute, I will then say to you to close the mouth, and we will continue on for another 9 minutes of this breath of fire. If you find, because it is quite a challenging breath, by the way, if you're pregnant, probably not advisable. And if you're in like the first day of your period, you might not want to do it either. It might just feel too stimulating. So do maybe the first minute with me and then just go into slow, deep breathing. But yeah, if you're finding like, and you feel like you're out of breath, it's fine to take a pause, take a slow inhale through the nose and then an exhale. Okay, as I say, we're doing this one, we're taking that breath, and then I just want you to wait for a minute and feel what it feels like. So without further ado, I'm putting the timer on. Here we go. Let me find it. There it is. Timer has started. So sitting up nice and tall, both feet grounded into the floor if you're on a chair, or sitting on your hips. Nice tall spine, shoulders relaxed back and down, hands resting on your lap. You can let the eyes close, but let the jaw relax, the tongue come out, and here we go. Allow the mouth to close, but keep that rhythm going if you can. If you lose the rhythm, feel free as well to let the mouth open again and find it, but we're still going. Remember, the shoulders are not lifting up and down independently. It's because the belly is pulling in, and up. Okay, so that sort of in and up action, you might see those shoulders lift or feel them lift, but as long as it's not you trying to bring in more air. This breath of fire, by the way, is all about an equal inhale and exhale. Okay, again, if you need to take a pause and a slow, deep breath, you do it. So we still have another 9 minutes to go. Oh no, that can't be right. We've only got another 8 minutes to go. Well done, us. Okay, so keep breathing. Keeping the eyes closed allows you to open them up to what's going on internally. Try and keep your focus on the breath itself. Try not to let that mind wander. So if you're finding that with the eyes closed, you're losing the breath and your mind is sort of wandering off, then perhaps open the eyes and stare down to the tip of your nose. So it's almost like the eyes are almost closed. Feel that breath of fire stoking that solar plexus, that third chakra energy, that sense of power. You are a lion. You can roar like a lion. Believe it or not, we are halfway there. This is a strong workout for the core. Keep that back straight. Keep those shoulders relaxed and keep that navel drawing in and out and in and out. Every breath, you are stoking up the fire of manifestation. You are calling in what it is you want. You are letting go of what it is you want to release. Be a few minutes more. You can do this. I promise you, you can do this. The good thing about this breath of fire is it's so physically strong that actually this could replace your yoga practice for today. Just keep breathing. to our last minute now, just one more minute. When it comes to the end, I will say that it's time to stop. I want you to keep the mouth closed, but take the breath in and out through the nose. The recording will stop, but I want you to stay there for a minute or two, maybe even longer. And then when you do feel sort of fully rested and relaxed after this strenuous practice, make sure you take a drink of water and please journal out those things. What are you calling in? What are you letting go of? Last 10 seconds here, people. We can do it. Well done. Close the mouth. Let the breath come in slowly and deeply, in and out through the nose. Relax that breath of fire and just allow the breath to be cooling, to be soothing, to be grounding. Enjoy it, and I'll see you again on our next Breathe With Me session. Thank you.